and more, people are taking control of their lives and not simply working for the man. I have sitting next to me today one among you who certainly knows what it is like to be the keeper of his own destiny.
I would argue that if you're going out on your own, you have to recognize that it's very difficult to create a cushion. You've got to go all in, and if you fail, you have to reset and maybe go a different course. But you know, the plan B needs to be in place of what you're going to do, but you can't be putting energy towards it because plan A needs all of that energy.
Just announcing some promotions. On 3 hours sleep. D-Rock's always here.
I actually thought I was taping one here. I don't even know. I actually woke up early by accident.
For like no reason.
And then was like, fuck it. And then took a shower because I woke up a little early.
This is your second shower today.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yes. It's my second shower. Like you came in like 11th.
Like behind like McGowan and Sap. It's funny, as I was studying for the draft, I was looking at all these players and all their reviews, and
Talk to me about, here we go. Talk to me about the most ghetto situation from an off. I would say our first 3 or 4 years were pretty ghetto. What was the most ghetto situation from our office space? Like, give me a ghetto office space story.
Man, I'm trying to think. I mean, there was a lot of people who slept in the office.
Yes.
Like I slept in the office a few times. You couldn't sleep. This is in Tribeca, but you couldn't sleep in the middle because the light stayed on all year. So there was a little office room that was like probably 10 feet by 10 feet, and it was the only place that the light wouldn't get into, so you had to sleep in there.
Why did you guys sleep there? Because it was nicer than your apartments?
Yeah, and all of our apartments were really far away.
If you're a true practitioner, if you're not a headline reader because you read something once that said it's not doing well, or some company did poorly with it, or your friend ran $100 worth of ads on Facebook and said it didn't work. If you got out of being a headline reader and became a true practitioner, you would know what I and we know, which is this is driving real life results. And very honestly, I have no passion for it. I only have passion for your attention. If you all stopped going to your cell phone and social networks, I wouldn't even remember what it was called. These are not places that are nice to haves or maybes. These are prerequisites for being relevant at all in 2016 and cannot be 9 minutes of your time. It's been so fun to watch because there hasn't been something this big since Instagram, and it got bought by Facebook so fast.
Yeah.
That it's kind of like fun to watch like the first major platform. I mean, there's not that many of these. Yeah. There's not that many things that you can watch everybody like over time get on. Like it's been a long time since, you know, early Facebook, early Twitter. You know, I do. Yeah, I do. I think it just started. Tony, I'm taking over your account. Promise you're gonna make more snaps. Promise.
Hey, come on, man. You gotta be current, dude. Man, you gotta get real.
I love it.
Boom, taking it over. Look at GV, man.
I understand, these things are already at scales that very few things ever get to. Like Snapchat's already bigger than Tumblr's ever been. Like these are like really big platforms. And I think we're also in a different place with this. So like unlike when Twitter and Facebook did their thing, the scale of the phone is so intense. Like we used to do that on our, like I used Twitter for the first 2 years mainly on desktop. Yeah. It's so crazy. But I promise you, in a world where this is the communication, not what you think you're doing, when this phone and these channels is the communication, I'd like to follow you on your 8-hour day. I have a funny feeling there's an hour there that you could be deploying to learning. Makeup life. Like you're a, give me some
right. Nope.
If you're a true bred entrepreneur, as a journalist, as a pundit, as a thinker, as an educator, as a social, commentator, you're different.
Right.
But if you're an entrepreneur a purebred,
Right.
and you're crying about this, you've already lost.
Okay, so quick question about marketing and
Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Like it's an important point.
I
because the market is way harder
Right.
than some old white dudes giving you
Right.
money. You know what's crazy? You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this, how aligned we are. Ready? I started VaynerMedia here. I started running it.
Started by one day.
I ran it here. AJ was super sad because VaynerMedia, we didn't raise any money. We just ran, it's a client service business. It didn't need any money.
Yeah.
In here, all the and all the homies are rich on paper, and AJ's like, you dragged me into this client service sucks. Here we are, all got fucked up. VaynerMedia this year's gonna do 100 million revenue. It's gonna, all right, brother, give me a hug.
Listen,
Yes.
hug it out.
Hey.
Love you, baby.
Take care of yourself. I'll see you soon. I think in the last several years, I've been positioned as a social media expert. And I'll be very honest with you and frank, Techcrunch audience, I don't like that. I don't want to be a guru. I don't want to be a pundit. I'm a business operator. As a kid, I built a $65 million a year business without any venture capital, without any M&A activity. I'm an entrepreneur. I've spent the last 4 years building an agency with no cash infusion from a $3 to $100 million business. I'm a businessman. And so in this book, I talked about how I do that. It's HR. It's actually caring about people. It's leadership. It's having product vision. I knew in 2009 that people would spend $100,000 a month on their social media budgets if they were a big company. Most people didn't. So the book really covers, leadership, self-awareness. I talk a lot about emotional intelligence, a lot about EQ. I talk about the things that I'm worried about. You know what I'm worried about? If you're watching this, Techcrunch, if you're watching this, you're in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. You know what we're not talking about enough? We're not talking about how hard it is to be an entrepreneur, how few businesses win. I feel a sense of responsibility to talk about the fact that kids have depression, and even we have kids and grown-ups committing suicide in our space because we're not talking practical enough about business. Just because you raised money doesn't mean you're gonna have a successful business. Everything you do will define who you are for life, but you gotta work hard and fast and extreme on a micro level. So be prepared mentally for a marathon by running a sprint day to day. Bro, I miss you. I miss you so much. You look so handsome. The internet is distribution. There's no ABC, there's no Fox, there's no Viacom, there's no satellites, there's no printing press, there's no Hearst Media, there's the internet. And then on top of the internet, there's things like Facebook and Instagram. But much like cable television, like unlimited channels, if ESPN or A&E and Bravo come along, they become competitors for that attention. And that now is Musical.ly, right? Like nobody knows what's going on Musical.ly, but I do, and I can tell you right now, in 24 months, there's going to be people making millions of dollars a year off of Musical.ly, and 98% of the readers had never even that are going to read your article had never heard of it, and the 2% have heard of it. It's only because they have 8 to 13-year-old girls in their home. I've been surprised by how many people have bought into, well, I'm going to work smart, not hard. The people that are winning are doing both. Go take a really cold shower. I promise you, you're not outsmarting me. The problem is, you're just not outworking me. So, I think the biggest surprise is how many people think there's some random system, how there's some crazy algorithm or process that's gonna create passive income, how there's this, that they're so smart, and that's why they'll be able to have more time to surf and be on boats and enjoy their wealth. I've been surprised by people's naivete that hard work isn't part of the equation.